Hey, yo, welcome to the Show Boys podcast. I'm Pixel Nick with Chadwick the Third. We're here for episode 3 of season 3 of House of the Dragon. Chad, how are you?
I'm good, man. I'm good. Yeah.
New location.
Yeah, I got a
Yeah,
new location going on tonight.
I like it. Lots
Um,
of dresser
lots of
storage.
dressers. Yeah.
Yeah,
So actually this is like the game room in the house. So
sick.
there's a lot of nerd stuff
Spider-Man.
in here. You just can't really see any of it besides the Spider-Man up on the wall there. I have a whole bookshelf full of manga
Kicked the
and
boys out and was like, "Hey,
yeah.
get out of the nerd room, nerds."
Like Dad turned 38 this year. Can't sit on a chest anymore.
Heck, no, I can't believe we made it that long. That's crazy.
How are you? How are you?
I'm doing good. I don't know. I'm looking like my eyes. I feel like they're the same as Rhaenyra's in this episode. Like just tired and just stressed. I feel fine though. I'm good. Yeah, yeah. Let's not forget to watch A House That Dragons Built, which is the 10 p.m. like 20-minute episode series that comes out after each episode. That's just like how we made the episode. I forget they do that. They've done it for every episode for every season so far, and I just watched
Oh, wow. I didn't realize they were that long.
20 minutes.
Yeah.
No, they're solid. They do a good it's basically like nice recap, but with like behind the scenes stuff throughout the episode. They hit all the major like strokes and stuff. But totally worth the watch, and they're only like 20-25 minutes.
Yeah, I mean, I really enjoyed the Game of Thrones one.
Yeah,
that was I can't remember what it was called, but it was for season 8, basically how they filmed season 8.
yeah,
and it was really cool. And I was like, dude, I didn't realize like how hard this crap is that they're doing, especially for season 8. Like watching them film the long night episode was like, dude, that is like pure misery that they're going through filming it.
Yeah, just like Joe here, right? He sits on the floor. That's why his back hurts. He games on the floor apparently. Come on, Joe, get a chair. Get a chair.
I went through a couple of iterations. So the boys, and I don't know if you can really see them behind me, but there's gaming chairs right here.
Yeah,
that basically just sit on the floor. So my original plan was I was going to take that, put it on the chest, so I had some backrest, right? But then I took it up there, and I was like, dude, I'm not that. I'm pretty short, so I was like, legit, my feet weren't touching the ground. That's how high up off of the floor I was. So I was like, this isn't really going to work.
Yeah, I mean, those chairs just remind me of like junior high Grand Theft Auto. Like that's what was in my friend's room.
Same.
And we just sat there and just played Grand Theft Auto till no end.
Yeah. So then once I got up there and was like messing around with it, I was like pouring sweat because it's like 200 degrees up in that room. So I was like, you know what? I'm just going to go to the game room, and we have 2 desks in here. I'll just set everything up here. Finally use this boom arm that I bought like 3 years ago for streaming. Or maybe it's probably longer than that. I can't remember the last time I streamed, but
sick. You'll get there. Move around.
Slowly moving. Yeah, slowly moving up.
Pop the vent open, get that room cool.
Yeah.
Anyway, the opening episode of season 3. Which
I think we can say definitively that's exactly what this was supposed to be, like
100%. But I mean, so good, such a good first episode, or great third episode too. I liked it quite a bit. They actually did kind of like a stylistic approach this episode, which you could tell everything was from like Rhaenyra's point of view really after the opening scene, because we open up in the Reach with Ulf the White, Hugh Hammer, and Daemon, right? And they're confronting Ormond Hightower and his army. But after that, it's all from like Rhaenyra's perspective, and they do all these like really cool like follow shots, and then they like pan around her, and then my wife noted this before she went to sleep. She's like the score, like the music in this episode is like very triggering, because like it had a very like suspenseful, not horror, but like edgy like undertone throughout the episode.
Yeah. The score in this episode was phenomenal, and it built that tension through the whole episode. 'Cause she's basically just getting like swarmed with
Yes.
tasks to complete now that she is technically queen. But the scoring so far in these first episodes have been phenomenal, dude. Like the first episode was great too. But yeah, this one just had that undertone of like tension building score going behind.
Mm-hmm.
You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Yeah.
And it's the quintessential like castle intrigue episode that we always love and we always talk about when they pop up. For all the action diehards that hate these episodes, too bad. Like we have to have these in Game of Thrones because you got to catch up on what's happening at the castles. And there's a lot going on here because, like you said, she's changing of the guard, and I think it's just this is just like the first few days. They're tearing out the old green everything, and yeah, everything needs to get in order, right? Like new sheriff in town, new boss. The show don't stop. And I think my favorite part that like really encapsulated that is when after Hugh gets knighted and then he like goes and finds her like on the stairs and he's like, by the way, like, where do I sleep? My wife, yada yada. Like, and then she's just like, yes, totally. But like just showed up, hot mess until I get like a little bit more stuff going here. Just hold.
Yeah.
And like the way she like,
which rightfully so, because she's just getting like bombarded. But at the same time, like, bro needs a place to sleep. You know what I mean? Like,
yeah, no, for sure. It's,
like you won your question. You're at the point now where you won the throne.
Yeah.
And there are some missteps that I think that she makes in this episode that are going to come back to bite her big time. Mm-hmm. Not to say that that's one of them, but it's like, take care of your. I mean, he's a dragon rider. You know what I mean? And he currently doesn't have anywhere to sleep.
Yeah, and that's a big theme this episode in terms of like she's like basically like trying to like give off this sense that like her dad is back, like in town. Like we're just gonna restore things, everything's gonna be hunky dory the way they were. But this episode is just constant conflict against that, either purposely or like her just like the way Targaryens move. Like Targaryens just have a vibe, and they really can't get around it. And I think it was last episode or this episode, and it was either Rhaenyra and Daemon or Rhaenyra and Alicent, where they were talking about her father, and she like referenced something about him, and they're just like, yeah, but he like ruled in a world of his own creation. Like he created, like everything was like hunky dory. He made it that way. That's where he existed. Like none of us, I think it was Alicent, like none of us have enjoyed like that privilege. Like we are all just reacting to this world that is falling apart.
Yeah. Yeah. And it's true. I mean, she's got to build that foundation now. And I think that's why she's getting so swarmed with stuff here. But I love the little pieces of from like a meta level of storytelling, like the rats in the castle. Mm-hmm. Like, Aegon hung all the rat catchers. So of course now there's rats everywhere. Just those little touches, dude. I think they do such a good job on the show with the little touches. Like, because that could have been easily something that just was forgotten about. But it's like, no, Aegon hung all the rat catchers. So now we have a lot of rats.
And I think what helps with that, too, because like when you watch the behind the scenes stuff, like these sets are like 40% real. And like when they're in the throne room and like, obviously the map room, as we'll call it, even the courtyard at the gate of the castle, like these are all like 40% like 2-3 story like real places, and then they just CGI in the rest. So it's like I think it really helps everything by having these like almost a real place. And I think that helps so much with them like just being in the mindset, the continuity of it. Like they show a shot where she's walking through the hallways like out of their bed chambers, and those bed chambers are the square walkway above that map like courtyard. So it's like I just feel like it's so convenient to like, for the writers, for all those details for the actors just to get everything so well.
Yeah, I mean, it definitely is. And that's one of the things you hear a lot for complaints on the acting in the prequel trilogy is that it was all, they were green screening the entire thing. So like
Star Wars?
Yeah, I'm talking about Star Wars.
Yeah.
Hayden Christensen is like not a bad actor, but he comes across as a bad actor in that. Same with Natalie Portman, not a bad actress. She comes across kind of stiff and weird in some of those scenes, and I think it's because they didn't have that
Ewan McGregor
layout.
kills it though. No
Ewan McGregor kills it, yeah. No matter what kind of screen he's in front of,
well,
he's good.
Well, yeah, that was a dual problem. That was one, everything's green screen. George went overboard on that, and then two, George is an odd director. I would even say he's not the greatest actor. He's not a good actor director. That's the issue.
Yeah.
And I mean that was even a thing in the original trilogy. Like they lent more on, the talent of the trio than and all the supporting cast than really like George's ability to direct actors. He kind of sucks, but he can direct like movies. So that dude needs like he needs a character director, like sub director,
dialogue director or something.
Yeah, not good.
Yeah. But that's always, that's why I think it's definitely beneficial to have these rooms and these parts of the castle actually built out, because you can really, it allows them to really get into the character versus just you're already imagining that you're a character, and then you have to also imagine the location that you're in being, on some distant planet in some galaxy.
Yeah.
It's a lot to wrap your head around, and I think it came across definitely in the performances on the prequels.
Yeah.
But that, dude, I have to say, man, I think that Rhaenyra she's moving up there for me. Like, I think she's a phenomenal actress.
Yeah, and I mean, they all get their shine, but like she gets like a 90% of the episode here, which is really daunting. Must be daunting as an actress, but yeah, she like they lean into her, and like she really leans into the role, and I think that's super beneficial because there's a lot of really good people, because they even like reference like they had this guy working the camera that's like a not perspective, but like when they do the like a focus, he's like a focus camera expert. Like he's really good at drawing like focus shots like from two and foreground. And like just all those random details that they think of and like they pay attention to. They didn't just have just some random cameraman running the camera for those shots. Like they had a guy. So the things they think about are crazy. But like even Alicent, like even her scenes in this episode, like the scene when they discover that that's not her son, like those two like are awesome.
Dude, just facial acting. Like she says no words there in the beginning.
Nothing.
Just the
they had a whole
look on her face
before any words were said.
Yeah. Phenomenal scene. I mean, I'm not trying to say that I think the actress that plays Alicent is phenomenal as well. I just hate Alicent. I think she's a piece of crap, but she's great. She's been in a couple other. Yeah, she was in Ready Player One, and she was in The Signal, which is actually a really good movie. But yeah, she's a great actress. But just their ability to, and I hope we see more of them together, because we've seen very little old Rhaenyra and Alicent together. We got a couple scenes here and there towards the beginning of season, towards the end of the first season, but then they've been separated pretty much through all of season 2. So I hope we get more scenes with them. I think we're going to. But yeah, I have questions about the boy. I mean, I have questions, and this kind of goes back to, and I don't know, do we want to talk about it now, or we want to work our way through the episode and talk about it?
Let's work our way through the episode.
Okay. Yeah, let's do that.
But yeah, I mean that's really good how the episode begins and starts with that thread.
Yeah.
Which is awesome, very cool, because we start off in the Reach with Ormond basically bending the knee to Daemon, and also I don't know, like they were talking about how they did that scene, right? Because they have 150 soldiers, but they make it seem like 15,000. And they have the same like 150, and they put them in their blocks, and they have them stand there. They do the shot, and then they have them move and rearrange, and they do the other block.
Oh, interesting. And then they
So I
splice it all
think
together.
they do like a handful of those, and then they CGI, they rearrange them to make them look like a full. And I was like, that's
Interesting.
crazy.
Yeah, that's wild. That's
And
a
just to,
that's a cool way to do it though, because you avoid the weird CGI soldiers in the back that
yeah,
don't quite look right, you know?
yeah,
I think
um,
we're probably getting to a point where CGI will look okay. Like if you
yeah,
think about like the Star Wars, like the what was it, Boba Fett, the ship and Boba Fett was like
yeah.
phenomenal looking. It looked
It's all
real. So
about like the right amounts of everything, the
right.
right amount. Like the volume was really cool, but it got played out because they were trying to do everything in the volume, the 360 stage thing. Um, so it's like there's times for that, and then there's times not for that. There's times for blue screen, green screen, and there's times that for real sets. So I think that's the experimentation. I think everything goes through where it's like, oh, cool new technology, let's break it and see like
Yeah.
where it goes
Yeah.
wrong. And I think, I mean, shows like this, like where they kind of use a little bit of everything, just that's where it all comes together really nicely.
Yeah, yeah, I agree. Because there's some people that like I think I just read an article today. Like Christopher Nolan used like a 60-foot puppet for the Cyclops in the Odyssey,
Wow.
and I'm like, that's
Yeah.
wild, dude. Because you could have easily done that with CGI, but he wanted to do a puppet, a 60-foot puppet, which is wild. So there's some directors that seem like
Yeah.
no, absolutely not. We're not doing that. We're going to do it the old school way, and those are the movies that are typically look a lot better, at least now. You know, that might change in the
And you can
future.
touch them up. They're real. Then you
Yeah.
touch them up with everything else. But I mean, go watch I think whatever the Battle of the Gullet was, that the opener, or is that
Yeah.
the second
Yeah.
one?
Yeah.
Anyway, like they built like they dug in the back lot and dug like pools, huge pools, a dry one and a wet one, and they put the like whole ship in there.
Yeah.
And one was actually floating, and then the other one was on a rocker, like a mechanical thing to move
Oh,
it.
interesting. Yeah, I have to go and watch that because
Dude,
I find that stuff
insane.
super. I didn't even know. Does it come on after is it like a
10
separate,
p.m.
but it's like a separate series
Yeah,
you
yeah.
find on
Yep.
HBO?
Yeah.
I have to go and
They
watch
should
that.
autoplay it. That would be
Yeah.
helpful.
I'd love to watch the Gullet. Speaking of the Gullet stuff, you know how awesome that episode is? We loved it, right? The
Yeah.
little
Awesome.
ocean battle,
Yeah.
Black Flag's coming out tomorrow, man.
I
You
know.
should just hop on board. It's
Right.
$60, man. It's $60. Just get
But I
do it.
also I'm playing Odyssey, and like that's got the
Yeah.
same setup in there
Yeah.
mostly. But not I know it's not the same,
Mostly.
but
It's
I gotta
not.
finish the Odyssey. I gotta finish Forbidden West. It's gonna take me 2 more years. I'll get it
Yeah.
on sale when it's
Yeah. Yeah, I thought about firing Odyssey up because the Odyssey is coming out.
Oh yeah, true. Oh, that's
But
very timely.
I'm so like, yeah, I'm on board with the Black Flag. I haven't played that
Mhm.
game since it came out, and it looks phenomenal.
Yeah, that's the way to do it.
I was just trying to sell you using the Gullet as a
Nope.
selling point.
Nope. So, but yeah, Damon negotiates like him bending the knee. Like obviously we can't trust Ormond. I thought that was suspicious from the get go that he's just gonna bend the knee. Little snake bending the
Dude,
knee when
he
he
is
doesn't mean it.
yeah, dude, he is a snake.
With
And
his little potpourri canister hanging off his hip. Like that dude needs wrecked.
Yeah. You can tell he's just a highborn prick, right? You know,
Yeah,
like you have to carry a thing of potpourri around with you to smell because you don't like certain, I don't know. To be clear, this is a new character for this season, right?
Yes.
He might have been
Larger
mentioned.
part.
He's been mentioned, but this is
It
our
might have
first
been like
time
in
seeing
one
him.
scene. Like it's one of those where they like sneak him in previous season and then he's a main thing in this season. But right. And yeah, I just think this scene's so cool too because it's like the army, but then we have like 3 dragons just like chilling, like Drake posture ready to like melt them down. Damon's obviously on his high horse, being Damon, very very sure of himself. And obviously does the whole like, oh, before you go, I almost forgot. We need the boy. But good play on Ormond. I didn't know it. No one would know it because no one's seen this kid before.
Yeah.
And Allison hasn't seen this kid in 5 years.
5 years, yeah.
But she sure know that wasn't her son. Now we can talk about it because we might as well.
Yeah.
Because that's the full loop right there.
Yeah. So I have questions. This kind of goes back to our talk last week about Allison working this. Is she just flying by the seat of her pants, or does she have this grand plan for everything? Do you think that's not the kid?
Yeah, I don't think that's the kid.
You don't think that's the kid? Yeah, I don't know. When I first heard it, I was like, oh my gosh, like what a shock. But then I was like, if that was me, right. me and I was in that position, I would have done that exact reaction. I've been like,
sure,
that's
true, but it's very convincing. It even convinced Rhaenyra. Like it was a convincing act if it was an act
for sure. But then at the same time, I could see. I think what I would do is totally act like that was my kid. Like,
right.
Oh yeah. Oh my gosh, you're so much older than when I saw you. Like he's going to the wall and you're sending this random kid to the wall, but your kid is still alive and well out there somewhere. So the right move if she was trying to play it out was to do that. That made me feel like that is her kid. That's why she was acting that way. Like she didn't want him sent to the wall, so she's just gonna be like, oh. But he kind of played into it too. My play for Rhaenyra, if I was standing next to Rhaenyra, I'd be like, let's shave his head. Let's shave his head, throw him in a dungeon for a little bit, see what color, because they said he dyed his hair.
Right.
Let's see what color it comes
She did
back.
look at his roots. Like as if, that was enough time for it to grow. Yeah, I don't know. That'd be smart too. Yeah, see what his roots grow out as. I mean, it was both convincing, but I don't know. I like to think Alicent is not. This is the main stipulation that we keep, like, or main like prediction is like, does she know more than she lets on?
Right.
Is she part of the plan? Is she not part of the plan? I believe her that she's not part of the plan, and she even tells Rhaenyra, she's like, I literally cannot like all these subplots going on. Like I set the plan up as best I could. We got most of it that mattered. You are here. You got the city. Aemon is gone. Not perfect. Lost. Aegon, the usual. My father got his head cut off. Not good.
Yeah. That's arguably the biggest problem is that Aegon is not there. Like that's got to be the biggest issue because technically, even though he is the usurper, he was the king, so he does have a claim to it in some capacity. And it's clear that they were sitting on the throne to begin with little to no pushback from anybody else besides the blacks. So it's clear that that needs taken care of for Rhaenyra, like quickly. If that would be a number one thing for me, because I think she sends. Is it this episode that she sends out the daughter to go look for the dragons, to look for Aemond, and she's unable. So that would have been one of the three in there. Like first thing is like, let's find Aegon, send people out. And I think she mentioned that at the end of the first episode, like bring him to me, but we didn't really get any kind of meat to it here. Who she sent, if she sent anybody. There was just the discussion on sheep stealer and whatever the other dude's name is, the big dude.
So riddle me this. We did not. Alicent did send a letter via Raven to Ormond, but we do not know what that message said in episode 1 when she was rallying her plan.
Alice, yes. Yeah.
So Ormond got that letter from her. We don't know what it said. So, because my first question there was like, who is Ormond working with to execute these plans? He clearly isn't like doing this in a silo, right? Because by the end of the episode, he takes Tumbleton, which I had to pull up the map, is a little just south. Basically, it's along the road that goes between King's Landing and the Reach. So we're running south west, and it's right there on the border of the Crownlands. So technically, Ormond moved in deceptively and took a border town right in King's Landing territory in the Crownlands, which is very aggressive. And by the line of questioning is he set up camp. They went inside the city. They're using basically the city and its population as a shield, all that stuff. So he wouldn't just do that because he's like lone wolf in it. He has to have conspired with someone. So running through that line of thought, that is her son, and Alicent knew that, right? But also, why would they just not do? Because that was a pretty good plan. If Ormond was just like, I'm just going to send the not real one, because either way, you wouldn't want to send the real one anywhere into the castle because how are they going to get out? And you know what I mean? Like, even if it wasn't her son, I mean, you would just be trusting that they don't just kill him anyway, or still put him in danger. The best bet is to keep the real one. If Ormond's going to deceive them in the first place, the best bet is to keep her real son.
Right. Yeah. I don't know. First off, it's funny that so after the episode ended on Sunday, you like cold sent me a map with all the different locations on it.
Yes.
At the time you sent me that, I was looking up where Tumbleton was. That's why I said, were you looking up Tumbleton? Because at least to my knowledge, we haven't heard that location at all. But yeah, it's a curious thought to think if she did send that letter, I can't assume that she said anything about swapping the kids out in that letter. Because if that was the plan, why would she blow her cover as soon as she walked in and saw him? Like, she genuinely looked shocked. So it didn't, unless she's just playing, this is the battle that we're talking about. Is Alicent a genius? Like, is all this stuff, is she weaving this web in the shadows perfectly? Or is she just stupid?
I mean, here's the thing. She could have still told Ormond to swap Darian because... and her still play dumb to that, like she might have been acting there because it is not in her best interest to then lie and pretend that was actually her son.
True.
Because if they eventually do find out that it's not her son, like then she is caught in a lie. At least now to Rhaenyra, she just looks like she's just dumb and doesn't know what's going on.
Yeah, but at the same time, she could have. I mean, it's been 5 years since she saw this kid. 5 years. At that time, the age that this kid is, like, that's a colossal jump. Like, I wouldn't recognize my kids 5 years after not seeing him.
Come on now.
I don't think. Would you? I don't think you would. 5 years is a big jump, dude. That's not.
But I mean, just imagine like this kid also just doesn't look anything like her son. But then again, like he looks like
he does is the problem.
Yeah, that's the problem.
Yeah. So how old did she ship this kid away when he was a baby?
Pretty young. I think he was like 5 or 6, like 5 or 6, and he's
5
like
or 6, and now he's
early
like
teens, tweens right now.
Yeah, dude. Like, I feel like
it's tricky.
It'd definitely be tricky for, especially back then.
She still sent the note. Like, what did the note say?
I would love to know what the note said. Right. I would love to know what he grabbed on the outside of the envelope that you pointed out last episode.
So like that's the only person he really has communicated with.
But is he gonna listen to his sister? Like, he seems like a cocky dude that's like, I'm not gonna listen to my little sister.
I mean, she is the queen, like former queen, like
not anymore, man.
Not still carries weight. I don't know. I mean, Ormond's not that good.
But if you ask Alicent, she doesn't carry any weight. She was pretty much like, here, I'm useless here. Like, nobody listens to me.
She did drag her daughter around King's Landing, saying like, stand down. Queen said so.
Yeah.
It is true. That's the big question so far. Is Alicent is she a genius? Is she like really playing the Game of Thrones, or is she just kind of reacting and doing the best she can?
I don't know. Yeah, I think even we got more information this episode. I still don't know if you can make an assessment on it. You're like, it's like 50-50 split.
Yeah.
You know, like maybe she's
Evidence in
got
both
this.
directions.
Yeah, there's definitely evidence in both directions. Maybe she's got this grand scheme that she's running, and we're going to see that all come to fruition, or she's just an idiot flying by, flying
Right.
by each decision.
And I really thought that until I just kind of realized, I'm like, Ormond has to be conspired with someone. It ain't no one.
Yeah,
So it has to be someone.
And had the end of last episode not happened, I probably would have said Otto. Like Otto is in the shadows doing all of this.
Exactly. He was like the easy scapegoat for
a
long time in terms of like who's pulling the strings down in the Reach.
Yep.
So yeah, that was the cool twist, and obviously, all the way to the end, like, her stress is turning into paranoia and then into now like rage, and we get the really cool bonfire shot, and she's just like pissed. Versus like the rest of the episode is all really just good castle stuff, castle intrigue, and like you said, like she does make some questionable decisions, like all Targaryens tend to do. Some of them I totally love, others like I'm not a big fan of. I think one of the interesting things is like the Daemon and Massaria like dynamic around her. So like, last episode was a lot of Daemon influence over her, and now Massaria is kind of stepping in because Daemon's not at home right now. And Massaria, and we saw it at the small council, which note, I like that she said this, but like she basically said, damn, my former small council, they're all a bunch of traitors at Dragonstone. So that is both a correct move because those dudes sucked a lot. We talked about that all second season, how bad that council sucked. But she has no council to take care of all.
She doesn't. Things. And I love Corlys in this episode. Well, when she looks back at him, like, and he's like, I defer to the queen. So he's just like, I don't care.
I know.
I like some of her decisions here. The hoarding of the food, that whole storyline, I thought was great. Her sitting them down to have a banquet and then serving them.
No
rats.
One's dying.
Nobody's dying.
Rats. Just making a point.
Rats.
That's a very measured Targaryen move. And other Targaryens would have killed all of them.
Yeah,
but she had a very measured, like
her father,
freak you out and rob you.
Yeah, it's like something her father would do. Like he's not trying to kill everybody in the room. He's just gonna get everybody together for a meal. Maybe not serve rats.
They were like we were scared. It's just like
yeah. So is everybody else.
Yeah.
I thought that was a great power move. I have concerns, and I don't know if this is coming from Game of Thrones or what, but the High Septon, I think, is a problem.
Yes.
That
always are.
They're always a problem in the series. He is clearly not on board with her. Not really on board with the Targaryens at all, by the sounds of it. He's like, pretty much your dragons are made from darkness and dark magic. So I think that's going to be a big problem. I think that could be a big battle that she fights, not a physical battle, but just a fight with the faith, which will be super interesting.
It puts her in a Cersei position where it's like you must choose your path. And will she choose violence like Cersei, or will she try to play along like Joffrey's wife?
Can't remember her name.
Forget her name. Anyways,
Marjorie.
Marjorie. Yeah, will she be Marjorie or will she be Cersei in this situation? Now, I thought she was going to kill that dude like right there on the spot. Because I'm like, dude, the lip you're giving me right now.
Yeah,
like,
dude, what? Yeah.
Like I get your point, but your tone is way off.
Way off. You're talking to the queen. You're talking to the queen. Yeah. I looked this up because I was curious, because I knew that Cersei had brought back the Faith Militant, which was their military force, and that's that whole season 5, I think, storyline. And I knew before then they were kicked out of the capital. I thought I remembered it being Tywin that kicked them out of the capital, but it seems like they're already kicked out of the capital at this point in the timeline, and it happened a couple kings, one of the Targaryen kings before here kicked them out. So that's just the militant part of the faith. This is obviously just the faith itself, not the ones that are going to go beat up all the people in the whorehouses and bust all the buckets of barrels of alcohol.
Daemon won't allow it. It'll be faith militant versus the gold cloaks.
Yeah. I'd love to watch that. I don't know. I feel like this dude is not going to be a one-off scene. I think this is going to be a fight for her.
Oh yeah. He was just way too uppity, like too soon. Like, chill, dude. Like, relax. We get your point, but like, come on now. Oh, what was I gonna say? It'll come back to me. Speaking of Tywin, right, and the Lannisters, I'm very curious about this little treasury gold missing subplot. We always thought the Lannisters like made their fortune with the gold mines at Castle Rock, but what if part of that was also because they stole it from the crown during this little period? I thought that was so interesting. I'm like, yeah, Thailand here, Mr. Treasurer, just kind of master of coin, just was like, we're gonna move it, and conveniently that way. And I was like, of course they did.
Yeah, I'm curious.
And again, Alicent playing like she doesn't know, but like, does she know?
I don't know. Yeah, I mean, she kind of came across like she didn't know, and if she is to be believed, but nobody's going to tell her anyway,
But who's pulling those strings? Like, it's too convenient that Thailand, who's missing, not really confirmed dead, moved the treasury out of the capital right as they knew Rhaenyra would be coming. Larys also knew the future and got Aemond out as well as himself, because you had asked like episode 1, like, why did he stay? He leaves gifts. He's good at maneuvering. So it's like, why did he leave? Especially with like Aegon. And then obviously the whole Ormond thing. So it's like there's a lot of very intentional things that have happened to undermine Rhaenyra. Who is it? Because those three doofuses didn't like do that themselves.
Yeah, it ain't Otto. It's not Otto. Yeah, that's for sure.
That would have been our answer.
Would have been before the decapitation. Yeah.
Yes.
I don't know, but it you have to look at it. Like, I can't believe Rhaenyra is not more upset with Alicent. Like, she showed they make this plan. You're gonna roll up. Most of the plan happened, but big things are missing, including the crown's entire money. Their food stores, I think, are emptied as well.
Yes.
And Aegon. Those are like arguably the three biggest things that you could have on the table. We need to get rid of the old king. We need to get the money for the crown, and we need to get and start feeding people. So, yeah, you would think that she gets a little more pissed at the end of the episode, I guess.
Yeah. Yeah. And I think, those are things where it's like you walk in and it's like, okay, it's a mess. You weren't there, right?
Yeah.
But the way this episode ends, the fact that she was then purposely undermined by the whole Ormond plot means that was like the evidence right there that definitely clicks all those pieces together, where it's like, this is not all just coincidence, because now Ormond is openly like working against me.
Yeah.
And deceiving me versus of course, a bunch of stuff happened in the capital while she was gone. No control over that. But when Daemon is supposed to go and like talk to Ormond and get the kid and yada yada, and that did not go, and they were deceived. Yeah, not good.
Yeah, it's definitely. It's definitely a tough pill to swallow, because that's got to be because he is a high tower, right? So now I think you're right. All those puzzle pieces fell into place, and it might even be mostly unintentional. Maybe the Alicent truly doesn't know all this stuff is happening. Maybe she laid this plan. Does. Somebody does.
That's the problem.
Yeah.
That's the problem we know, and now Rhaenyra knows. And I like if you watch it the right way, and that's how they did this episode. Is like they were like, you should not know it if Rhaenyra doesn't know it because it's all from her perspective.
Right.
But now by the end of this episode, you're like, right, but someone knows.
Yep.
And then it's like back to Allison, like, is it you or who else could it possibly be? So yeah, I think that's the great mystery they've built here.
Yeah, for sure. Yeah, I don't know what I think that the other big problem I have with Rhaenyra's decisions in this is her little fight with Corlys.
Mm-hmm.
I think that is a massive, massive misstep for her. That dude is a great person to have on your side. And it just didn't sit right with me. I mean, I guess I can kind of see
it's a stretch. I don't know.
It's a stretch. Yeah.
I don't think I get those roaches crawl out of their corners when that stuff happens, but it's like also at the same time, who would point that out? Who would even need to really know?
Right. And who
like
cares?
Unless Corlys was asking for like some sort of like formal announcement from the crown, like a public thing, but she doesn't even get like a proper coronation. So it's like I would have just been like, yes, Corlys. Cool.
He's just asking. Yeah, he's just asking for the name, and I do have questions about that because why can't he just name him the name? Like, why does it have to come to Queen? Because we saw that a lot in Game of Thrones, and it never came from the king. It came from whoever the father was.
Yeah, true.
But if you look at Roose Bolton and Ramsay Bolton, he names them himself.
But that was definitely a time of lack of central authority anywhere. And
that's true.
The Boltons and even the Riverland Red Wedding people, like they were aligned with people, but like they didn't care to go get a decree from Joffrey at the time or whoever the king was to do that. They just did it. Whereas this, it's a little bit more. We're still coming off of very formal, organized times where Corlys is like, yeah, it would be nice if the queen recognized it formally. But yeah, I don't know why she couldn't just agree with him and been like, sure, like no biggie.
Knowing everything that he's gone through for her and for her side, including this massive battle that they just had where he lost his castle, basically. It's burning to the ground.
Yeah.
Probably lost a good chunk of ships and a good chunk of men.
Lost his heir because Jace was
his heir. Yeah.
That was
you would just think. And then also on top of that, the effect that the brothers had on that battle too, where the older brother was the one that killed the woman, whatever her triarchy, whatever her name was.
Yeah.
So just that alone, I don't understand why she is pushing back on it. So I get kind of a little bit that I think she's just overwhelmed. You know what I mean? Maybe she doesn't think this is a bad decision. It's just everybody is coming around the corners of the castle, bombarding her with things, and she's just like
one person to not
do it to. Yes, and he gets visibly pissed in this over this.
He's asking for one thing. He's been pretty chill so far.
He's been so chill. He hasn't asked her for anything. He's done all. He's done all the fighting, everything from the stepstones forward. And he's asking for
technically he was doing all the legwork for the past season, like the blockade, all that stuff. Yeah, for sure. It's rough. And he's a good little advisor to her, not really interfering, not helping a ton at the advisor level, but he's holding he's acting as the hand. Is he the hand? Did she make him hand?
I think she did.
Because he's acting his hand, even in the throne room where he's holding the hearing, helping her do that task. So I don't know, and I don't know if during the knighting, because it was definitely after the knighting of the 3 new dragon riders where he did get very pissed because she named him a Paul still.
Yeah.
I don't know if she also was worried that was a can of worms with the other 2 that were bastards, if she makes him You know,
That's her concern. I think that's
does
her
she make
concern.
the other two going to get pissed? But it's like those other two are like, yes, but blacksmith, drunk. I mean, Alan, has kind of, it's slightly different. I would say
Yeah.
it is
I
slightly
think
different.
it's definitely slightly different.
But I understand her reservation there, and like, where she doesn't want to deal with it, right? And she even kind of said, "Not now."
Right. Yeah. She didn't flat out say no. Yeah.
Right.
And I think that the other concern for her is that she had to deal with that with her own kids, people calling them bastards and undermining her own children. So I think that that's just a bad like taste in her mouth from all of that.
But then she should like appreciate the legitimizing
Yeah.
these ones because he's in the same position.
He's in the exact
Except,
I don't know,
not
man.
the same. These are legit bastards versus like Joffrey type bastards where they're like,
I mean, they were bastards regardless.
They are, but
it's not it wasn't a whatever he said, a shipmate or whatever that he found. I can't remember who the mom of the boys are.
Alan and Adam, though, they were bastards first, and they were always recognized as bastards, right?
Yeah.
Whereas Jason, his brother, Joffrey,
were bastards.
They were bastards, but it was perceived as they were not.
Mm-hmm.
That's the like primary difference, because Jace being, supposed to be not a bastard, but then turning into a bastard is quite different than saying Alan is a bastard and then made not a bastard.
Right. Yeah, I don't know. I just
not a good
hope
move,
that
though.
I don't think it's a good move, and I hope that this doesn't have a side flipping effect for him.
Yeah. Well, I don't
because
know
he's very
that.
upset. He's very upset, and Corlys doesn't get like that. I don't think we've seen him like that since maybe the Stepstone stuff in the first season, where he was pretty upset about the Stepstone situation because it was messing with his trade routes. Everything. But yeah, I don't know, when she made that decision and I saw how upset he got, I was like, oh dude, that's a bad move, Rhaenyra.
Yeah, she should have pulled the she should have corporated that up a bit and been like, sorry, did not realize this was that important to you.
Right.
My mistake.
Yeah. Let's
correct.
Let's de-escalate a little bit.
Yeah.
Let's de-escalate a little bit.
Because he raises his voice and openly calls her sons bastards.
Yeah.
And I think even people in the background stop and are listening. So it's super awkward. Not that it matters now her sons are dead.
Yeah, they're dead. It doesn't matter. Yeah, also good point. Who cares now?
Right.
Who cares about that now?
Because she legit has heirs with Daemon.
And you also have to remember that there's only she does. And you also have to remember there's not that many people that even knew those kids were actual bastards. You know what I mean? It's really just the nobility. So and even some of the nobility.
That goes back to my first point. Who is gonna call this out?
Right. That's what I'm saying. Who cares?
It's just a really bad rift.
We're in the middle of a war. Who cares about Corlys having two bastards that are
he wants to make not bastards?
Yeah,
because they served, admirably and did a great service.
That's the other thing is it's not like they're doing nothing. One's a dragon rider and the other one is the first mate to Corlys. So. And it had a substantial
and the best
effect.
Dragon Rider.
Yes, it's definitely the best Dragon Rider out of the three.
I mean, Hammer, blacksmith man, Hugh.
He's good. Yeah,
he's good. He's good. But Alan,
maybe the drunk dude's gonna surprise us someday. Who knows?
Also worth watching in the behind the scenes. That dude is like that in real life, but positive and happy and funny.
Oh, really? Yeah.
Yeah. It's funny because he's standing there and he's talking to the camera. He's like, I still don't believe I'm here. Someone fucked up. Really bad. He's funny. He's funny behind the scenes stuff too. But it's very, very similar.
Yeah, that's funny. Yeah. I don't know. It's just out of every decision she made this episode, that's probably the one I think that's gonna. That in the high septum ordeal, I think, are going to stick a little heavier than everything else. And it also, I get that the rat thing, serving the rats to these, And are they are nobility, correct?
Yes.
But they're like the
Of
lower houses.
they're lower houses, but they're more so think of them as like a merchant class in King's Landing. They're like the wealthy of King's Landing.
Gotcha. That just seems like another thing that you wouldn't maybe not want to poke.
Yeah,
In
like
your
while
first
that
day.
was cool, it's also a very bold move. That
Yeah.
is doable if you have everything else in order,
Right.
but she doesn't. So like mad church, mad nobles, peasants are already kind of like on the edge.
Starving. Yeah.
The city ain't gonna the city's not in great shape.
And also that I loved the gesture at the end of her handing the food out with Massaria. But I was like, dude, that's a small wagon. There's a lot of people standing there. She's grabbing
there was
these-
another wagon. There was like a train of
Was there?
wagons. Yeah.
So she's grabbing these baskets out of people's hands and she's like giving them like 2 apples and a scoop of wheat or something. I'm like, dude,
Yeah.
I mean, maybe people ate a lot less as peasants back then.
Nothing.
I mean, better than nothing, but I was like,
yeah,
that's it. Like,
I mean, she's just
I'm
gonna
your new
do-
queue. Here's 2 apples and a half a cup of rice or whatever she gave
I mean,
them.
she's just gonna do the like, the photo shots and get do like 10 baskets and she's gonna move on with her day.
Yeah,
and,
yeah.
Like
It's all
the
about
guards
the
are gonna do the
images.
rest.
Yeah.
Yeah, but like that's the thing is like that's cool, but not enough. Like that wasn't like a good use of her time. Then more of a Damon stance there, where it's like probably not like the best use of your time.
I was just
Small victory for the small people.
Yeah, I'd be curious to see how this pans out. How the peasants are going to react to it. How this High Septim is going to come into play. I have to think that he is close knit with the peasants in the city, if I had to guess. So, hopefully she keeps those going and that's not her only motion towards the peasant population, because there's enough of them to have some sort of uprising against her. And you can only fight a battle so many different ways. You know what I mean? Mm-hmm. If you've got everyone outside of King's Landing gunning for you, as well as everybody inside King's Landing gunning for you, because you just screwed over all the merchant class and the lower houses, and the peasants aren't going to be happy with 2 apples and a scoop of rice or wheat or whatever it was.
Yeah.
She's got to play this Game of Thrones a little bit better. And I get that this is like her first day on the job, and it's like, we can't judge her off of everything, but this is a rough first day.
Yeah, it's kind of like when the Atreides get to Arrakis, and like everything's just like sabotage and messed over.
Yeah,
it's the exact same plot line basically.
Yeah, it's tough because that money is really the problem. If that money was there, a lot of these issues, especially with the peasantry, would go by the wayside.
Yeah, it's crazy they moved the whole thing, and like that's a good Game of Thrones episode when Jaime's carting the money back to the capital to pay the Iron Bank. So this is such a cool, maybe a callback too, where it's like they carted it the other way this time. They carted it to Castle Rock. Those Lannisters, they stole their wealth. Then they found a gold mine or something like that.
That would be great. That would be a great twist. Yeah.
Yeah. So really, that's the big thing is it's going to go poorly for Rhaenyra. We know that much, but I really want to know who on the green side is orchestrating,
is pulling the strings.
Better not be Cole. That dude better not be doing nothing smart like that.
I don't think it's Cole. Yeah, I think he's too stupid.
Did we not see him this episode?
We did not. We haven't seen him outside of that first scene, right?
No. He's had like 3 scenes.
Has he?
He had the one where he's being a total douchebag about the girl being raped. He had another mopey scene about life, and then he had the whole 2 Harrenhal moment.
Okay. Yeah.
Nothing intense. Let's keep it that way.
Yeah, I wouldn't think that he has got that kind of the pull, but it does bring up a great question: who it possibly? Maybe it's just Ormond. maybe he's the one pulling these strings, because who else is there? Who else is there on the green side that would be doing stuff like this outside of him? Otto's dead.
Right.
Alicent's not smart enough. Aegon is dilapidated, on the run. Maybe
I
it's,
guess whatever the note said, like it could have been Alicent trying to like, work some magic, and he read it and was like, "Okay, good try, sis. Actually, I got a
let's
better
do
idea."
this way. Yeah. Or it could be what's his face? Foot fetish dude. What's his name?
Larys.
Well,
okay. Other thing to consider. She wasn't supposed to be there, Alicent.
Right.
So, I guess in a perfect world, by whoever planned that, the fake son
would have never got caught.
Would have got killed or sent to the wall, whatever. In a vacuum, no one would have ever known.
Yeah.
Because Alicent was not supposed to be there.
Yeah, that's an interesting, that leans me to it being Alicent that's pulling all these strings, and she did not have that little curveball of being at the Capitol when all this popped off. She was going to be gone. She wouldn't have to hear about how Aegon was missing. She wouldn't have to hear about the fake kid.
But if she was pulling all the strings, you think the string of not being caught in the Capitol would have been like a very important one to get right.
Number one. Yeah. Number one, let's find our way out of here.
My daughter and my grandchild need to get out of here first.
Yeah.
But no, that did not work at all.
I wonder if that
was stumbling around the streets like a bunch of idiots.
Yeah. I wonder if that was the plan and it was laid. But because all the stuff was going wrong for Alicent, she had to stay a little bit longer and missed her boat, per se.
Well, yeah, because she had to fix. It was supposed to it was supposed to be easy to get Aemon to leave. Aegon was supposed to be there in bed.
Yep.
But instead she had to like get Aemon to leave for some odd reason. And then basically pick up the slack and like make the plan like come together for Rhaenyra.
Yeah. She straight grabbed her fire extinguishers, trying to put out fires, but they just kept popping up in every corner of the castle.
Yeah.
So it could be that plan was laid. She just simply ran out of time to execute it, or
and
maybe maybe Rhaenyra came a week earlier than she was supposed to. I don't think there was any set time, right?
Yeah. Well, basically, once they got word that Aemon was leaving, that was the time,
right?
That was the cue. Basically, Aemon has been sighted leaving. Plan ready to go. Yeah, I guess. Yeah, Alicent's a mystery. And I guess in that sense, she would have been not surprised that it wasn't her son, but she still just was like, huh. But no, then why would she wouldn't have, like you said, she would have just been like, oh yeah, that's my son. All good, Rhaenyra.
Yeah, exactly. If she laid that plan, she would have played into it. She wouldn't have had that shocked moment. That's why I'm thinking that letter had no mention of this little plan. She
expected not to be there, and it still is not in her interest
But she still would have known the plan. Plan.
But still not pretend. She shouldn't still have not pretended that to be her son, because she's still stuck in that castle. Yeah. And the second anyone finds out that that's not her son by some other means, she's dead.
Yeah, like I said, dude, I don't know. I think she could have played it off as like, dude, I haven't seen the kid in 5 years. Like the last time I saw him, he was a child. Now he's in his teens.
And she just assumed it was her son.
And she just assumed it was her son. You told me it was my son, and I assumed.
She has a lot of wiggle room with Rhaenyra. That's the other interesting thing. Because like even Rhaenyra has that moment where she like goes to Alicent and like halfway is like asking her advice. Like, how did you manage all this? Like when my father was bedridden, you basically ran the city. But to her point, it's like, well, it was more of a city to run.
Yeah, right.
There was a small council to start.
Yeah.
Well,
But it's just I also I still have questions on Allison's little, I'm gonna call a small council meeting, and then just dips. Like, why did she do that? Just to get people out of the way? Like,
where
hey,
are
go
they?
gather everybody.
Well, I
Where
mean,
are
most
they
of them are
also?
dead.
Right.
Larys is missing.
Yeah.
The Lannister bros are half dead and gone.
Yeah.
Otto's
That's
not
why
there.
that's why I'm saying there had to be
There
one
was
or
no smoke.
two.
Yeah, there's
Like one person.
basically the Maester.
Yeah. The
And
dude
like,
that came, whatever the master, what was he, Master Laws, that came into her room last episode.
oh yeah, that guy.
That guy. Yeah, I don't
Yeah,
know. It gives me vibes that she is pulling these strings behind the scenes, and we're just looking at, like, you're such an idiot, but there's a grand scheme of things that are building around her that she's doing in the shadows, or Laris is doing in the shadows, or Ormond is just off doing his own thing, trying to fix it.
I mean, that would be very talented of Laris, and like in automate, like stacking those dominoes. He's not even around. Like, dude's
Yeah,
like
but
on the run.
that's a little finger thing, man. I mean, he's the little finger of this show, and this has got little finger written all over it. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
And just how casual he is about everything in the scenes that we've seen with him and Aegon, where he's like, yeah, this is the king.
Yeah, I
Like,
could
let me
see
just
him
copy you up real quick.
orchestrating all the things that happen. Like,
Yeah.
grain silos are empty, the money is gone.
Otto's in the cells for when there's a lot that he's done so far that is
What if he made
into it.
Otto pen letters for him to like Ormond, and like Ormond thinks Otto is telling him what to do? Like, that would be many layers.
Because there's no mention that
Joe Cross says it's either bad acting or he truly has a grand plan.
Yeah. There's
Laris is definitely not, he's one to consider.
I think he's definitely one to consider.
Especially when we don't know what he's up to.
Right. Yeah. He's every point. At all points in the show, we never know what he's up to. Ormond doesn't know that Otto's dead, right? Is no. Ormond is Allison's brother?
Brother or cousin?
Are they cousins? Maybe they're cousins, but either way, there's no mention to him that Otto is dead. I believe. I think that it's mentioned that.
I mean, he had to have gotten word. It was a public
not
execution.
On scene. Yeah, not. I mean,
cousins.
Not in a scene.
Otto's nephew. Ormond is Otto's nephew. Allison's cousin.
Oh, okay, interesting. I don't know why I thought that is there not a brother? Oh yeah, we've seen the brother. And that's not him. We've seen the brother last season.
Yeah.
Yeah. I don't know. Lots of moving parts. Yeah. Lots of moving parts. And that's what I think I love so much about this show is Game of Thrones was really good on the lots of moving parts, lots of different stories, lots of different parts of the map. This is a more tight story, I guess is the best way to put it, but there are a lot of moving parts within that tight story.
Right. Yeah. And then there's Aemond, who is MIA in Harrenhal. Cole is also at Harrenhal, and there's been a few days. So like we know where they're at, but it's, they're also like Aemond hasn't been spotted.
Yeah, now that he's there, I am more curious about that. I was like kind of dreading this part of the story because I
think they'll skip. We know how that works.
Yeah, in the moment, I think we were having a good time with Daemon's storyline in season 2 because I think we were like guessing that like those people were all fake and he was envisioning all of this, which didn't end up happening, but at the time going through the episodes it was fun, but now looking back on it I'm like, I mean, it was kind of boring. Like it didn't really pan out to anywhere. So I'm hoping now that Cole's there and like now I'm kind of excited. I want to see what kind of crazy shit this witch is going to do to them. And Cole sucks and I hope he gets a lot of it.
And Damon's out on the prowl too, right? Like because he hasn't been at the castle. Or is he?
Yeah, I don't know where. He met out with Ormond, but I don't know where.
Yeah.
Was he? Yeah, no, he came back this episode, wasn't he? Back at the castle.
He's back.
Yeah,
he was sleeping there and stuff, and he's around the castle doing stuff. But yeah, there's pieces moving around, and I think that the interesting thing about this episode too is like it's only Rhaenyra's perspective. So technically, the way this episode plays is like a lot could have happened during this time. We just don't know about it because we were purely riding along with Rhaenyra. The next episode could easily be like a drop in on like some big thing that has happened. Obviously, we're going to get the whole Tumbleton situation. We'll probably unfold a little bit. But
I'm curious, is it just from a strategic standpoint that he takes Tumbleton? Like just to be within striking distance?
With like it's definitely close enough to like definitely piss her off, make a statement. It is strategic in that it defends the reach entirely. Like, but it also is close enough and a big enough statement, like it forces her to do something. But to the Dragon Keeper's point, like whatever he was doing there, he must live there and he just commutes to work at the Dragon Pit. Is like she can't really, like, the town's full of people and like they went into the town.
Right.
So it's like she can't just go burn it down. She could, but that won't be a good look either.
Yeah.
So I don't know. That's a little bit of a death wish too. Like he's really putting himself like under the gun there. That close.
Especially for a fan. I mean, they have that
Those
baby
dragons
dragon.
could get there in like probably 10 minutes.
And there's no defense. They have no defense. They just have a military and a baby dragon. Not a baby dragon,
and
but
the
it's
people that live there.
Well, yeah. I guess that's
you have to.
But I'm curious because it looks
then,
like.
bad.
Did you watch the trailer for the next episode?
I did, but
it looks like Hugh's wife is there.
Yes,
and he says something about she went.
She did.
He did
he
say
said
Templeton.
That. Yep, he did. She's there.
So that's an interesting. Yeah, that's an interesting little twist.
So Hugh ain't gonna do nothing.
No.
And he was supposed to be going there to get her.
Yeah, well, he was gonna send for her.
Oh, Rhaenyra did say we'll send for her. Like,
he was like, "Hey, I got a dragon now. Come be with me. We don't have a house. There's nowhere to sleep. I'm sleeping on my dragon
in the castle.
But in the castle,
Dragon Pit. Bunk beds.
There you go.
Great place for children. They look like sheep.
Does he has kids, right?
Yeah, one or two.
I wonder why she left.
I mean,
just because
that city sucks. That
it's
place
just chaos.
Nasty. Yeah, and everyone probably thought that place was about to get melted.
I wonder if it's that, and that also the fact that there's just no food. Like the blockade really screwed everything up.
Yeah,
but she doesn't leave until Rhaenyra is basically rolling up. But we see her in the scene looking up at the dragons as they're flying over.
Yep, that is true too.
Yeah, I don't know why. I think he did say that she has family there.
Right. Yeah, went to stay with her mother or something.
Yeah, I mean, if I was,
that's going to be a complication.
Yeah, definitely a complication. And if I was the peasant, I'm like, see dragons flying around. I'm like, all right, dude, I'm out of here. That's like being here and seeing like a bunch of Russian, fighter jets flying over. I'm like, all right, dude.
I mean, speaking of going places,
I'm going somewhere else.
I would totally just go north for starters. The north is huge. I'd find a nice little like woods to go like camp out in up north. But also, Daemon was totally like, you still don't even realize who you are. Like, we can go like take Dorne and then all of Essos. I'm like, whoa, buddy. Like,
take it easy. Take it easy. Whoa. I certainly wouldn't go north. I hate the cold. I'd definitely be heading towards Dorne. That's more my vibe out in the desert.
Sure, but
especially if you're homeless.
On Damon's list,
especially if you don't have a house to go to. You know what I mean?
Yeah, this is
I'm not going. It's like being homeless.
Winter isn't there yet.
Yeah, winter's not there yet. That's true.
Yeah. Yeah. Exciting nonetheless. Very good episode. I enjoyed
Yeah,
it.
great episode. Dude, the season's been phenomenal. Now it's on the back of episode 9 and 10 from last season so far.
Yeah.
But it's effective in making the season really good so far.
Yeah, and just like a pace check, like episode 3, like still we have 5 episodes to go, which is a lot, but not a lot. Like this Sunday we'll be halfway.
Yeah.
And I don't know, I feel like there's a fair amount of ground to cover. And a lot of like
there's a lot. Yeah, we're opening up a lot of doors, and for a show that should be, this is the penultimate season. Next season's the last season. So
well, I kind of
we're
feel
opening
like,
a lot of doors.
yeah, well, I guess the fun thing is that this, like, if you've stuck it out with this series, and probably a lot of the gripes that have hung over this show so far, at this point, now it really feels like Game of Thrones because we are in a much more moving around the
Yeah.
table, like
Yeah.
moving around the map. There's a lot of pieces in motion. We're not just like all palace intrigue amongst the family in the house. So it's definitely like expanding, and it's, even though a lot of people have died, we've kind of got rid of a lot of just the dead weight in the family, and now we're really focused on the power players, and it's all going to come to a head. So I don't know, at this point, like, if you haven't watched it or like couldn't make it through season 1 and 2, now it's like a really good time to like do that, and then just go right into season 3, because this is definitely just like in what we've talked about in the past like 3 episodes. Like they're hitting all the Game of Thrones beats. It also has the right story now to like really feel like Game of Thrones. We just had really good, different build-up seasons to lay this all out, because none of this would really be that good if we didn't have all of the historical family context that we have from like season 1 and 2.
Yeah, I agree. And I think that this show is also doing really good in bringing up new locations. Tumbleton, we've never heard of. Seeing locations that we've heard of but haven't seen. Storm's End, in season 1, I think it was. It's cool, man. And if you're a fan of Game of Thrones,
Stepstones, the
Stepstones,
Coruscant Island, lots of places.
And
if you're Castle Rock, the more of the Reach we've seen, we actually see the Reach like up close. And not yet, but in the preview you can see it. So yeah.
Yeah, I think if you're a fan of Game of Thrones, and even if you hated the way that it ended and it ruined the show for you or whatever, you're doing yourself a disservice by not watching this. Just from a world building standpoint, you're seeing a lot more of the places that we only heard about in Game of Thrones, or places we never even heard about in Game of Thrones.
Yeah. Night of the Seven Kingdoms too.
That's just a show.
That's just a show that again makes more references to more places and haven't seen.
Yeah.
So really good.
Yeah, they're doing a great job of building this world. It was already a great world in Game of Thrones, but now it's getting more fleshed out.
Oh, that's what I wanted to talk about. I just want to mention earlier, it is the 15th anniversary this year of Game of Thrones. Did you see the preview? Basically when you go over that tile in HBO, they, how they autoplay like the trailer. They made a new cut for the 15th anniversary, and it starts off with the end of season 5 with Cersei like talking and like the set blowing up, and I'm like, yes. So they have basically a new trailer montage for the 15th anniversary.
Yeah, that's cool, dude.
Like, you watch it and it's like, wow, so good.
Yeah, dude. I saw that, I was like, man, that'll make you feel old, because I feel like I feel like it's a new show, bro. I didn't realize it was.
I know
the first season is 15 years ago. That's wild.
Yeah,
it's wild.
Rough there, but yeah, I saw that and I was like, oh yeah, that's such a good show. Totally worth it. No matter what.
Yeah, I might. So even though I've just rewatched Game of Thrones just a mass amount of times at this point.
Yeah.
But it's even still, like, even when we did the companion series for it, you're still picking up on things that you didn't pick up your first 4 times watching it. At least I am.
Yes. Yeah.
But yeah, we're Mike and I, at least I think, are still planning to do Final Fantasy Tactics together. And that story is inspired by War of the Roses, which is the actual story that Game of Thrones was slightly inspired by. So I was like, if we're going to play that, I might as well watch Game of Thrones.
Right.
Might
Yeah.
as well do it.
Oh, so good.
But we'll see if the Black Flag thing picks up. Like, I've never watched Black Sails on Stars.
I'm told that's really good. Yeah.
Are you? Yeah. So I'm slightly interested on that. So we'll have to see.
I'll have to just deal with my Odyssey shanties.
Yeah.
In the Greeks. Yeah, good show. Then I was like, oh, I need to be playing Forbidden West. That's what I should be playing.
That's what you should be.
Yeah. And I'm just like, beeline the story.
Dude, it's funny. It's funny because they added New Game Plus into that a while ago. And I re-downloaded it because you get something at the end of the game that would be so sick in New Game Plus.
Well, that's how the first game was. You get that freaking weave armor, that adaptive like energy armor at the end of the first game.
Yeah,
so fun to play after that.
This is even cooler. But it sounds like you don't get to keep it for New Game Plus, which is really a stupid decision. And once you get there, we'll talk about it. It's just some of these developers, dude, just make baffling decisions that sometimes when I like look and I'm like, what? Whoever made this decision needs to let go immediately. Like, I'm sorry, that's the dumbest thing I've ever heard. Arrow Quiver on Ghost of Tsushima is a prime example.
Yeah.
Right. But anyway, where was I going with this? Oh. I got on there to do New Game Plus, never even finished it. So I couldn't do New Game Plus. I have like 1 or 2 missions left. I was like, damn, I didn't realize I didn't finish this game. To it. Yeah, you might beat me to it.
Sweet. Well, anything else to say on this episode?
No, I think we covered it pretty good.
It was a good one. No one died. That's always good.
Yeah, I mean, we've had some big deaths already this season, but you know, like
Jace
I said,
and Otto
penultimate,
are pretty notable.
Yeah, Jace and Otto are huge, but penultimate, you would have thought Otto's death would have been like the end of the season, you know?
Maybe it would have been.
Yeah, oh, that's true.
It would have been.
It would have been. Yeah, you're right. It would have been
episode 10. Her sitting on the throne, like looking at Alicent, was like the Jon Snow death
scene.
Moment. Like that was it.
Oh yeah, that's funny, dude. I keep forgetting.
And then we would have opened into this episode, which is like jumping right into the frying pan of like shit's falling apart, changing the guard. Alicent's pissed and we don't know what's going on. It would have worked out just fine.
Yeah, definitely. I am wondering though, like, is the final season going to be more than 8 episodes? Like, we're going to have to recorrect here at some point because we are technically, we've been shifted. So are we going to cut things out and make a Game of Thrones mistake where we're just going to rush to the end? Because the showrunners want to go do a Star Wars thing they never ended up doing.
I think they're going to stick with 8 episodes. Like I think we're on the course correct to 8 episodes. That's a more modern format.
I don't know.
We might get like some beefier episodes, but also like maybe they cut out like the Aemond Harrenhal 2 episodes of crap like we already went through. But I don't know. Like there's a lot that even in the trailer that is left to be seen in this season, and that's where I'm like 5 episodes left. That's a lot, but not a lot at the same time. So I really think that the final season will be 8 episodes. It's going to be a full thing. And like Joe Cross said, 2 4-hour episodes, just like Stranger Things, right? We'll be able to do that. Who cares about episode counts when you can just make the episodes infinitely long?
Dude, I am a big fan of them showing episodes in the theater as well. Like, I wish I would have watched that Stranger Things episode in the theater. I'm sure it was awesome. But if you could have seen like A Long Night in the theater, Like that
I
would have been
mean,
so sick, dude.
the first 2 episodes of this season, I could have watched in the
Oh
theater. That
yeah,
would have been just
also,
fine.
yeah.
A movie,
Mhm.
just put those 2 together and been like theater release.
Yeah.
Would have been there.
Yeah,
Would
100%.
have been there.
100%.
They
That's the
should
one thing
do
we're missing. We have not seen in Game of Thrones on the big screen, you know?
Game of Thrones penultimate and finale episodes should be like movies that show at the theater.
Yeah. Dude, like, yeah, the season 5, like, or season
Bro.
what's
Yeah,
Cersei? Is it
season
season
5.
5? Dude,
Yeah.
like that episode in the theater would have been so sick.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, all of it. So good. But yeah, I don't know. We're good. I think they'll do fine. I think if anything, they might have just trimmed it up a little bit, which is fine. Because
I hope this doesn't become a capping point like Game of Thrones, you know? Where
yeah,
it's like,
and
oh
like
man, HBO came in and pulled their funding, so they had to slim down the episodes, and now we're paying for it.
yeah, I think we'll be fine. I mean, season 2 was, I mean, that was the most dragged out season. It feels like I have to
Right.
rewatch it to really put a pressure.
But it's
test
already,
on.
yeah, it's already, you were already feeling that a little bit because these, you know, we were kind of left high and dry last season, but had these 2 episodes been the capping point, that season would have been awesome.
Yeah.
I mean, that would have been, that's what we needed.
Yes.
You know?
Very true. Yeah, totally. I mean, they should have made that decision earlier and cut out some of the middle of season 2 and
Yeah,
left
some of the
these 2
Damon stuff
episodes.
could have went
Yeah,
away.
easily. Yeah, and yeah, if they wanted 8 episodes, they should have cut further down in the middle, and along the way, and left these 2 there, and then just
Yeah, it almost makes it seem like that decision to pull some of the funding was done very late, either into the writing or
I think
into
that
the
was the
filming.
problem.
Yeah.
Yeah, that was the problem. Because obviously this was all written because
Right.
I don't think they changed anything about 1 and 2 and 3
No.
here so far. I think so far I have no indication that they changed any of the writing.
No, I don't. Yeah, I don't think they. It doesn't. Yeah, it doesn't
Because those
seem
2
like
episodes act exactly like a penultimate and finale, and this one acted exactly
like the
opening.
first. Yep, 100%. But that's what I'm saying, dude. Like now we have 5 episodes, not 8, like where we should be.
True.
You know, so we're slimming down 2 full episodes worth of content. So that's what I'm saying.
The
that
last
maybe
2 better be good.
Yeah, the last 2 better be great, but there's a chance that we're going to have the same problem that we got. It's not going to be as offensive this year because we got that awesome first 2 episodes of last season.
Hopefully we feel some hopefully the week, hopefully it shows in the middle of this season where things feel rushed. Like with maybe Rhaenyra in King's Landing and dealing with all that. Maybe they rush that along a little bit. Maybe they just rush some plot points in here to like close the gap and then get to a proper like season finale and all that stuff.
Either that or they just say to HBO next year or for next season, like, hey, the show's doing really well. Let's not screw it up like we did. I mean, they have a great sales pitch, right? Let's not screw it up like we did Game of Thrones. Give me the full run of 10 episodes. Give me the funding that I want. Let me finish telling the story the way that it deserves to be told. It's already written. You know, we're not trying to play book catch up like we were in Game of Thrones, trying to imagine where George is going to go with it. It's already written. Give us the 10 episodes. Give us the funding. Let us go out with a bang. That would be the right move. You got the best sales pitch just sitting there right for you because HBO knows that Game of Thrones season 8 did not do well.
Number 9.2, episode 1, 9.4, episode 2, and 8.4, but only half the ratings for episode 3 here. So there's still more to come, but yeah.
Yeah. I mean, it's
episode 2 is currently the highest rated of the season. Oh yeah. And one of the highest in the whole series.
Nice. Yeah.
I mean, that was a good finale. That would have really made season 2 like awesome, but whatever.
Yeah. I mean, Joe maybe does have a point here.
I doubt that House of the Dragons has the merchandising sales that the actual Game of Thrones did, so actually probably not making as much. Yeah, very true. I don't see like Toy Isle loaded up with House of the Dragon stuff. But maybe it is.
Yeah,
I don't
but
know.
I don't.
Hey, the
Yeah,
Seven
maybe it
Kingdoms.
is. Yeah, I don't know that. I mean, they did have a pretty strong merchandising thing going on with Game of Thrones. They had action figures. They
And
had those. I have a bunch of those foam swords, which are so sick.
in Game of Thrones, like they had the book resells, like, he was reselling all those books. You get the ones with like, the Game of Thrones branding on it from the
Yeah,
show. So yeah, yeah. I mean, that's a really good
yeah, but
point.
just from a show standpoint, I think that it's probably doing just as well as the earlier seasons on Game of Thrones. Maybe even better. Maybe even better than the
Well,
earlier seasons.
I think we've talked about this in the past on other topics, but also post 2020, like streaming landscape, the way they quantify like success and like money revenue is a lot different. So like Game of Thrones was still like old school HBO like streaming, where it's like your big blockbuster 9 p.m. show, and there was all the merch and all the like ancillary stuff that made money. Whereas this, like, they kind of justify its success too, like with like subscriptions to the service. So it is a little bit different how they categorize like financially successful these days. It's definitely a little bit more tricky. Like if they're able to directly say, oh yeah, like this many more subscribers have like come back or whatever for the show, that might offset like the lack of merchandise, maybe. Who knows?
Yeah. And that's I mean, we're assuming that there isn't merchandise. I'm sure that there is.
Joe says, I mean, I subscribe to HBO just for House of the Dragon. I just never canceled it. Exactly.
Yeah.
Reoccurring revenue. That's what matters. ARR. That's what it's all
Yeah.
about.
I don't know. I'd have to look at the numbers, because I'm sure there are people that have had a bad taste in their mouth after Game of Thrones that aren't excuse me,
Yeah.
that aren't watching this. And I'm sure
Yeah,
that there are
everyone
also people that
everyone
are probably never watched Game of Thrones that are watching this just because it's the
everyone that's 10
new.
years older than us that just don't have it anymore in them
Yeah.
to watch
Yeah.
shows.
Yeah.
We're the right age where we're still able to keep up.
Yeah.
But then no one younger than us is watching it because they haven't seen Game of Thrones.
Right.
Anyway, see you next week. Don't forget to watch the episode on Sunday. What do you want, Joe? I mean, I would say a squishy rat from the yes, they were squishy rats because they're prosthetics, and they made those all. Go watch a House the Dragons built. But yeah, we'll
Yeah,
be
I'm
back
gonna
next
watch
week.
that. Yeah, I'm gonna go watch that
Oh, it's so
when I
good.
get in
And they're
bed.
20-minute episodes. Can't beat
Yeah.
that. Nice little capper. I watched the episode 3 one right before we got on here.
So they come out. It's just based on
It says 10
that,
p.m. Yeah,
but it's
right off the last
the
episode.
prior episode.
Yep. So yeah, you watch the like 5-minute post episode thing in the episode, and then you can just go to that and then watch it.
Yeah, I want to do that, and then I also really want to either rewatch the entire second season flowing into those 2 episodes that we got at the beginning here, or at least the finale from last season into those 2 episodes
Well,
to
it's just
see.
time to rewatch the whole series.
Yeah, I actually put on the first episode when I was falling asleep.
Whoa.
Yeah.
Bold move. Bold move. All right. Everyone have a good evening. Thanks for tuning in. Chad, see you next week.
See you.